Hello. So while I was just roughing these out, I mentioned a few times about the surface tearing, and I don't know how well it comes up really, but on the camera, but you can maybe just about make out there's some rough patches there compared to quite a lot of it's quite nice and smooth. Again, I don't know how well it comes out, but I'll take my word for it, it's nice and smooth there. But don't really worry about it, because when you're roughing these out with the scrub planes and then you're flattening them a bit with a jointer, with this sort of wood, it's really old and dry. It's sat in the back of a wardrobe for God knows how long, maybe 70, 80 years. So it's got a lot of reversing grain in it, this, so the grain goes all over the place. And what happens is when you're planing along the fibres like that, and you're just sort of shaving the top of them off, but when you get reversing grain, bits stick up like that, so your plane comes along, bends them over and snaps them out from underneath, and that's how you get the tear out. But it's not a problem. We just use firstly that plane, which it's not actually set that tight, this one. I could set the mouth a bit tighter, but there's a thin gap there, and that means the pressure's put on the front of the wood as you go over it, so it doesn't tear, which is good. So that works really well. And then some bits that won't cope with, and I just use that, which is a cabinet scraper, number 80 cabinet scraper, and that has a kind of, you can't see it on the camera, you can't see it with your naked eye, but it's got a curved, you put a curved, like a hook almost on it, and that pulls off a really fine shaving. So I've done the other 5 gate bars, and I'll just do this one now. So I'll get double busy with that and we'll have a look. Hopefully you can see that bit there, and that bit there, and there. And I'll just, this is just brilliant, this tool. It just takes off these tiny little shavings, and you can adjust it. You just turn that tiniest amount, it actually bends the blade a little bit into the cut. That surface is now perfect. In fact, we'll put some varnish on it. I'll probably actually run a bit of sandpaper over it just to roughen it a bit, because it's so smooth now the varnish won't stick to it, but it means that you get a really lovely finish when you've varnished it. So great tool. Good, so that's got the 5 upright bars done. Fairly pleased with them, I think they've come out well, considering what started with just a bit of old wardrobe. Yeah, I don't have any around now, probably put it in the firewood pile, but anyways, you saw it at the start of it. So now, next job, I've planed off that face, and I'll just put that on the table saw and take that down there, and that'll give me a couple of uprights, slice it in half I think, and that'll give me a couple of uprights, and that is a pretty similar, not identical, but where are we? There we are, pretty similar wood to the upright, so that'll make the bars. And once that's done, I've then got this, which isn't quite the same, but it's still oak, but it's more of a white oak than a red oak, and that'll make the sort of frame. So we'll video that when we do it.